Jake Thompson here, your Chief Encouragement Officer, and welcome to this brand new episode of the Compete Everyday podcast. Today I'm going to tell you why doing your best isn't actually the best advice. Get ready for this brand new episode of the Compete Everyday podcast on YouTube. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button down below so you don't miss any episodes Here We Do in the future. Now, you may be thinking, as your Chief Encouragement Officer, isn't my job to tell you to go do your best? Heck, if you've followed the brand for maybe longer than 5 years, we used to do the catchphrase of compete every day, always do your best. We believed at the time that was the right mentality. We were trying to convince people that the focus was not on everybody else, just focus on doing your best. But the older I've gotten, the more I've realized that just doing your best may not actually be the best piece of advice for people. Because a lot of times what we think is our best actually isn't. One of my most popular keynotes, Compete Every Day, and in my book, I talk about this phrase, Eratos. Arete we commonly see as excellence, but Eratos is a specific conjugation that the authors Ashley Merriman and Poe Bronson used in the book Top Dog around not just excellence, but the revelation of excellence through competition. See, the ancient Greek culture was obsessed with competition, you could say. I mean, heck, they created the Olympics as a way to honor their gods because they believed through competition our best was revealed. It wasn't about what we thought we were capable of, but about pushing ourselves to discover what we're actually capable of. Think about the last tough workout you went through. Maybe it was a long run, maybe you're on a rower, maybe you were in the gym. You heard that little voice in the back of your head start whispering like, slow down. If you don't slow down, you're going to die. Like that voice is super uncomfortable. Our lungs are burning. Our heart's beating as fast as it can through our chest. And our body's just trying to get a breather. And so in that moment of discomfort, that inner voice is trying to tell us to slow down, to stop, to quit because we're, quote, going to die. In reality, we're not about to die. We're just super uncomfortable because we've never put our body, our mind in this specific position before. And like a lot of you in that moment of discomfort, if coach yells 5-10 seconds left, you keep pushing, you keep going to finish out that workout. You don't quit early and you didn't die. In fact, you were quite fine. And maybe in a few cases, you even PR'd what you thought you were capable of. See, all of us have this limit in life that we think is our ceiling. How high we think we can go, how successful we think we can be, what we believe we're capable of. Sometimes we set those limits, but in a lot of cases, parents, teachers, friends, other people tell us things, and that sets our limit. We allow other people to dictate where our ceiling is. In reality, that ceiling is anything but. It's not our actual limit. It's like being in that workout and hearing that voice thinking you're going to die and that's all you got left in the tank, and then boom, 10 seconds left, game on. I got a little bit more. I can run a little bit farther. If you look at the skews of how marathoners finish the races, it's not one giant arc like you think it would. It's a spike up and then down. It's a spike up and then down. A spike up and then down. Because what happens is people are running these races and they've got times they're aiming for. But like in a lot of races, they get off pace or maybe they're a little bit ahead and they get about to a mile left, maybe a little bit less. And they start looking at their watches and they see, oh man, I can make it under 2 hours. I can make it under 2.5 hours. I'm going to be under 2:45. I'm going to be under 3.5. And they start sprinting. Now, you know at this point they're tired. Their lungs are burning. Their legs are aching. Everything in their body is exhausted from running 12 miles to this point, 25 miles to this point if it's a full. But they somehow find the energy to get up and get after the finish line because they want to get under a time mark. They've got a target. They're going after it. And so that idea that they were done, that they hit their limit is not really the case. They were just super uncomfortable. And the same applies to us in life. We all sell ourselves short of what we're actually capable of. That's why for me, competition and competing every day is so incredibly important because it's about the idea of testing your limits to see what you're capable of right now, to establish the benchmark so then you can push it. You can see, can I get a little bit more out of me next time? Can I do a little bit more next time? So when we tell people just do your best, we're kind of encouraging them to do their best while they're comfortable. See, that's what I think about in that moment is how can I just come in relaxed and do my best right now when in reality, like we want you to push yourself. We want you to get uncomfortable. We want you to stretch yourself. We don't want you to do your best. We want you to do the best. And sometimes striving for the best is a lot more uncomfortable than doing our best. Because when we do our best, rarely do we fall short. Rarely is there an idea that we had a setback or a disappointment because it was just our best. Now, on the other hand, when we're looking at doing the best, well, then there's a baseline. And we know what that baseline is. And a lot of times we fall short of that baseline. A lot of times in sports, our best isn't enough to win the game. And even though we gave our best, it wasn't the best because the other team beat us. But there's something important about that. The beauty of competition is you win or you learn what it's going to take to win. If you're in a position where you always win all the time, you're never stretching yourself, you're never growing, you're never learning on how to get better because you're never putting yourself in a position to stretch yourself, to be challenged, and to potentially lose. Average people avoid opportunities to fail and lose. Champions put themselves in those positions every single day because they understand the only way to get better is to test myself and push myself. And the only way to push myself is to put myself in a position where I might lose. But by doing so, I'm going to learn what it's going to take for me to get better and win in the future. So when we challenge people, do your best, we're challenging them to do what's comfortable when we should be encouraging to go be the best. To chase that big goal, to chase that big standard, to raise your game, to be freaking uncomfortable going after something bigger. So even if you fall short, we're going to cheer you on, we're going to encourage you, and then we're going to get your ass back up and tell you to go after it again because we want you to be better in the process. What a disappointing life we would live if we never pushed ourselves, stretched ourselves, and just settled for what was comfortable. We would get to the end of our lives and we would regret so many choices, so many actions because we settled for what was comfortable and what we thought was our best instead of pushing and stretching and striving to be the best and to understand what our full potential was. Give me that every day. At this point in my life, I would rather fail, stretching myself, getting better and growing than settling and just winning the small stuff. I don't want the small stuff. Nobody remembers the small stuff. Give me the big goals. Give me the things that people remember. So we don't want to be our best. We want to go be the best. Now, one of the things I want to preface with that mentality is we're not focusing on what other people are doing. We're looking to see what's the baseline, what's the standard for excellence, who is the best, how are they the best, what do they do really well, what can I learn from them, and then what do I do really well and make it even better. It's not about comparing ourselves to them in an unhealthy manner and staring at them. It's about understanding what do they do well, learning what their skills are, what their strengths have done, what they've learned to get in this position, and then saying, okay, cool, you did that. That's the standard of excellence. Here's how I'm going to go get better in my own journey, and I'm going to try to be the best. Focusing on our lane, our race, becoming absolute best, not just what the best is right now, but stretching ourselves every single day. Because life's too short to settle in. Life's too short to play small. Don't die with regrets in your heart because you did what was comfortable. Show up and compete. If it seems like I'm fired up, of course I'm fired up because we're talking about the difference between settling and being complacent and being a damn competitor. You got to be a competitor if you want to end this life on empty, if you want to exhaust everything you have in the pursuit of everything you want. And it's not about doing your best. It's about becoming the best. It's about having the innate drive that no matter what, no matter who else is on this earth, you are driven and taken on the mentality, I'm going to be the best in everything I do. That's a better challenge. That's how our friends should be challenging us, and we should be challenging them. Not just go do your best, but go out there and be the best because I believe in you and I've seen the work you do and I know what you're capable of. So rise up and go do it. That's how we should encourage each other. Just do your best gives us an out to sell ourselves short and quit when we become uncomfortable. That was just our best. Because if I'm uncomfortable now, that's beyond me. Go be the best This is about loving your friends, challenging them, and encouraging them to go be the full potential they were created to be, to chase the standard of excellence and just see what their real potential is. Stop doing your best and start chasing to be the best. I'm cheering for you, competitor. Go be the best today.